landing destination. He's looked like a shell of himself. His former player since coming back from a knee injury in December. Doesn't have the explosiveness and in-the-court vision that netted him an $80 million extension with the Pistons 2 summers ago. It's crazy. So he may be on the move. Danilo Gallinari for the Denver Nuggets as well. The Denver Nuggets look like they basically going to start over. Like they're just going to start over. Chandler, Gallinari. So they're talking about Gallinari possibly going to play for the Clippers. He's likely to opt out of the final season of his 3-year, $45 million deal this offseason. It's no surprise that the team is looking to try to make a deal for him. Both the Raptors and Clippers were named as interested parties, but it's unlikely that the former would move on Gallinari after acquiring Serge Ibaka last week. Okay, so it's more so looking like the Clippers as a possible destination for the sharpshooter. How about this? Lou Williams, Atlanta's own Lou Williams, from the Lakers to the Wizards. That's right. Lou Williams right now, who's doing real good for the Lakers, but the Lakers don't have much hope of doing anything in the postseason, not even much hope, and they don't have any hope this year. They're a young team. They're rebuilding. They got a new coach. I mean, it's just this is all about the future. So this veteran player, Lou Williams, would be a perfect fit, they're saying, for the Wizards. And there's already been some type of talks between the two. The Wizards are arguably the hottest team in the league right now, having won 18 of their last 21 games. Did y'all realize that the Wizards have won 18 out of 21 games? Huh? So they've won 18 out of 21 games. They got this real young nucleus headed up by John Wall, but they don't get a lot of production from their bench. They're averaging like 6 points off their bench. And Lou Williams right now, a career-high 18 points for the Lakers, his best shooting splits to date. Washington is interested in Lou because, once again, they need some shooting to come off of the bench. So that sounds like a likely destination, a possible destination. Last two, Jimmy Butler, which is the foundation and the backbone of the Chicago Bulls, but talks are out there that he may be traded. One team that they're mentioning is the Boston Celtics. So here's the deal, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. Here's the deal and why it makes so much sense for the Bulls and the Celtics to make a deal, okay? Two historically stubborn front offices. The C's have no shortage of assets. They got high picks, overseas stashes, and quality young players to dangle in front of John Paxson and the Chicago Bulls. According to Sporting News, Sean Devaney, Chicago still isn't sold on a rebuild, while Boston is gun-shy on dealing what should become a top 3 pick in this year's draft. The Lakers have also been tied to Butler, and it's no secret that Tom Thibodeau would love to have his oldest superstar in Minnesota, but the Celtics are the only team that could realistically offer enough to bring in a player of Butler's worth. So, Danny Ainge and the Boston Celtics have been accumulating all of these picks. Like, they kind of doing a basketball version of what the New England Patriots always do. Like, they always trade players off, man, and they accumulate these picks, and they package these picks to another team to get a player, but yet they still have, picks available to them because, once again, they've stacked them and stashed them so much that they can get a guy on, the draft or in the draft. And so Boston has a lot of assets, to give up for a great top 20 type player in the NBA. So it makes a lot of sense that that's going to happen. And also the last deal that everybody's been talking about, which I still don't think is going to happen, is Carmelo Anthony to the Cleveland Cavaliers. It ain't going to happen. I mean, I just don't think it's going to happen. It doesn't make sense at all. It seems like Carmelo, I've said this many times before, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show. It seems like Carmelo doesn't want to go. It seems like he's happy to be in New York. It seems like that he genuinely wants to be there when that organization turns around, if and when it turns around. Yeah, and I mean, that's a big-ass if. But I think Carmelo's genuine in the fact that he wants to be there, and I can't be mad at him. Once again, I've said this before. You can't be mad at guys that go and team up with other superstars, and also be mad at Carmelo for wanting to stay. It just doesn't make sense. And so, hey, I'm cool with it. I'm cool with it. It doesn't make sense for him to go to Cleveland. I think most people agree on that. So I think Carmelo's going to stay in New York. What are your thoughts? 404-382-0338. You can also email me at Doug@theDougStewartShow.com. Let me read some of these messages in the chat room on Spreaker.com from Loose Neck. How's the family sigh? Okay, I get it. He's got a little profile pic of Morris Day in that famous quote in Purple Rain when Prince's daddy had just blown his damn brains out. And I guess Prince's daddy, I say blowing his brains out like he died. He didn't die. He didn't die. And I don't remember even the details around that, but Morris Day, when they were about to perform, Morris Day walks by Prince's dressing room, and obviously Prince is emotional. You know, his daddy is almost blew his brains out or whatever, tried to commit suicide, I think was the story. And Morris Day walks by and just no heart at all, just peeks his head in Prince's dressing room. How's the family? Loose Neck, how's the family side says, greatest lyricist of all times, Rakim. I agree 100%. Yes. Yes. Greatest lyricist of all times, number one. Number one on my list. I've done that list before, where I've given my top 5 rappers of all times. Number one is the great Rakim Allah. You talk about a great voice. You talk about a trendsetter, legacy. Like, really, Rakim took hip-hop from one level to the next with his vivid storytelling. Once again, sound, metaphors. I grabbed the mic like I'm on Soul Chain. I mean, damn. I grabbed the mic like I'm on Soul Train. I agree. From Big L X Squad, he says, Grego hate old school rap. WTF. Pay no attention to Grego in this conversation. Just pay no attention. If you're new to the Doug Stewart Show, we have a contrarian, to say the least, in this cat named Grego. He's a fan of this cheating-ass New England Patriots, and he claims to hate old-school hip-hop, and he's in love with Little Yahtzee. Ignore him. Right. So Big L, X Squad, just ignore Grego in any type of rap conversation. He's just trying to troll you, bro. Don't even worry about it. From T-Dub in the chat room on Spreaker.com. What up, T-Dub? He says, I used to do the George Jefferson off of this. You damn right! Right. So you remember, I forgot about the George Jefferson dance. I used to kill. As a matter of fact, I'll challenge anybody in the world right now to a George Jefferson battle. So you remember George Jefferson. You remember the Jeffersons. Maybe if you're younger, you don't. But there was this TV show called The Jeffersons, and the main character was George Jefferson, owned about 7 cleaners in New York City, one near you. And so George, every time they had a party or something, they were in a party setting, George had this dance where he was kind of like doing the moves of James Brown. And I guess you would just say it's, I don't even know why I brought up George Jefferson. That's what it reminds me of. But James Brown had this dance where he kind of like slid from left to right or whatever, man. And off that Eric B. and Rakim song, You Know I Got Soul, that was the George Jefferson dance song. And I used to kill the George Jefferson dance back in 1987, 1988. You better believe that. Wait a minute, let me see something. Yep, still got it. Still got it. I'm doing it right now in my seat a little bit. From Miss Mocha Bella X Squad. Hey, Mocha Bella. Y'all say a prayer for Chief's mom. She is in the hospital. Definitely. She's been in the hospital for a while. So Chief is Chief Rocker. I'm sorry, the number one Chief Rocker, Vern from Jersey. Y'all say a prayer for his mother who's in the hospital right now, not doing well. From LLK3000 S-Wave, office will show everybody love shortly. From Loose Neck, how's the family size? George Jefferson dance and the Smurf. Ooh, I remember the Smurf, but I don't remember how the Smurf went. I don't remember how the Smurf went. The Smurf was a dance. So we had, growing up, we had the George Jefferson. We had the Smurf. We had the WAP. I'll kill the WAP too right now. We had the WAP. What else did we have? A couple other dances we had back during my era, man. But, yeah, it was nothing like that during WAP. Or the George Jefferson from Uncle Mike. As Oprah Winfrey famously said, $1 million is actually $580,000 after taxes. What are they talking about? From T-Dub, I'm going to record a Vice maybe this weekend. What's a Vice? From Angry Black Man. Bro, stop calling them the time before you get sued by the Ghost of Prince. Those ninjas go by the original 7 now. What? So when I was looking at this story, it's interesting that you say that, Angry Black Man. I'm glad you said something that wasn't so angry, first of all. So in looking at the Times bio, the first line said something about the original 7. So it says the Time, also known as Morris Day and the Time, and the original 7. And then they went on to talk more about the group. So wait a minute, what did Prince do? You're saying Prince pulled some type of executive order and made them change their name to the 7? Like, I don't understand that. I've never heard that story before, but very interesting. Prince was definitely a shrewd businessman. So I need to get more about this original 7. Well, let me make sure that's what they're calling themselves, or that's the name that they have in this bio. Right, the original 7, and they're spelling 7 with the number 7, and then V-E-N as one word, 7. That's some strange Prince Minneapolis type shit right there. So, I don't know. I gotta read up more on this a little bit. I gotta read a little bit more on this. When we get back from the break, man, and you're listening to the Doug Stewart Show, I'll tell you what we'll do. I got another song that I came up with that I have on my list of top 5 favorite songs of all times. I think I actually have 2 more. But when we get back from the break, I'll play one of them and I'll give you the history behind it. See, there's history behind these songs. You know? There's history behind these songs. Like, these songs are vivid in my memory, in my mind, because of certain events that were going on during the time. Okay? And I got another good one, man, that y'all going to love when we get back. Also, when we get back from the break, let's talk a little bit about the Jacksonville Jaguars. Briefly, little NFL talk, not a lot. Briefly, and then we'll jump into your chat messages. It's hour number 2 coming up on the Doug Stewart Show. Don't go away.
Trust that was inside. Some